The FCC is considering banning the use of the Washington Redskins name, the Redskins. And they're doing so because they're responding to some petitions that they've received. So let me give you the details of this. The FCC, which enforces broadcast indecency violations, has received a petition from legal activist John Van Zaff III asking that regulators strip local radio station WWXX-FM of its broadcasting license when it comes up for renewal because they use the name Redskins, right? Now, keep in mind that that team has not changed its name. They're still referred to as the Redskins. So this petition is arguing that as a news organization, you should not refer to them as the Redskins, even though that is the name. Now, I don't agree with that name for the football team. I think that they should change it. They're refusing to do so. But nonetheless, I think that this is a little excessive to ask of the FCC.
But by the way, the FCC is very seriously considering it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and they say that, look, it is an offensive name. We will review this under our policy. Remember, the patent office already said that they are rejecting the patent because you can't patent things that are offensive, okay? So now that's going to go up appeals, and we've discussed that before. I actually think it's a really novel, interesting way to combat the problem. And so the reason Tom Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, doesn't want to get rid of the name is because he thinks it has a lot of value. Mm-hmm. That brand has accumulated all the value throughout all of these decades of use, and he bought it, and he doesn't want that to go to waste. Mm-hmm. Now, if you literally can't say the name of the brand, well, then the value is taking a significant hit.
Of course.
And might affect his financial decision. So that's why I think it's a very clever way to approach the issue.
It is.
And if you're the FCC and the name of the team was the Washington N-words.
Yeah.
Now, would you allow them to say that? You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't, right? The only reason why we're saying that it seems weird to us is, one, we're used to the name.
Yeah.
Because that football team's been around forever. Two, and number two, discrimination against Native Americans is not
It's not taken as seriously.
It's not taken as seriously.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. It's a good point, but at the same time, I just feel like as a reporter or as a sports journalist, you're just doing your job, right? Mm-hmm. You are referring to the team by what their current name is. And so to have the FCC get involved and get rid of their license or deny them their license is a really serious deal. But you know, at the same time, you have the editorial board at the Washington Post saying that they will no longer use that name.
Right.
And so, yeah, there have been a number of journalists who have taken a stand against the name of the team. So I guess you could make the argument that all journalists should do the same. But at the moment, that's the name of the team. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And the Washington Post on the sports page still refers to them as Redskins.
Yeah.
Just their editorial board won't
yeah.
call them that. Tony Dungy is taking a stand against it. He's a commentator and he works on with an organization that has a contract with the NFL, so this is a little brave of him. And so is Phil Simms, which is amazing because he's the least courageous man in America. But in the usual Phil Simms fashion, he said, I will kind of do that for now. I'm like, oh, Phil, you were on the right track. You were almost there. Okay. Anyway, but these are all interesting, worthwhile efforts to try to get it through their thick skulls that Redskins is obviously an offensive term. You would never meet a Native American and be like, hey, Redskin. You would never say that. In fact, if you're trying to get advocates of the name to say it to actual Native Americans, as some shows have done, right? They won't say it.
Yeah.
Then, okay, then you know it's offensive, right? So this is all different ways to get Dan Snyder to finally say, okay, we'll call it the Washington Pigskins or whatever it might be and move on with our lives.
Yep.
Organizations change names all the time. It's not that big a deal. In fact, another organization in Washington changed their name fairly recently. They were the Washington Bullets. Not a good sign, especially if you're in a crime-ridden place, as Washington was. At the time, they were the murder capital of the world, and their team was named the Washington Bullets. So they changed it to the Wizards and named it after the KKK instead.